I had a great conversation not too long ago. It was a gentleman who's interested in starting a business. It's a great business, not for profit. He wants to help people that have some anxiety about around being able to eat, feed their kids, et cetera, et cetera. Essentially, he wants to do a food pantry. He came up with a great concept for a different approach to doing this. And I said to him, it's like, this sounds great. This sounds like a really great opportunity, great way to contribute back to your community. Give me a business plan. I just wanted to see it, give him some feedback on that, see where I can contribute to him achieving his goal. And so he emails me the business plan, and he's got a great structure. He's thought through a lot of the parts and pieces. But what scared me is that, and we see this a lot of times, is that he looked at who his customer is going to be and accurately talked about how he might find them and how he might serve them. And he looked at his product, what he wants to give those people. He talked about some of the mechanics of how people would go through the process of ordering and getting their food and that sort of thing. And it was good. Wasn't coming through, however, was the operational part of things. Looking at the finances. How do we make sure that we're able to operate? So if we're going to deliver food, for example, how do we make sure that we have gas and insurance and that sort of thing in order to get the food from the location to our customer or to our end user? Looking at it from an HR side of things, a human resource side of things. Even if it's not for profit, how do we recruit volunteers that are going to, or part-time employees or whatever, that are going to participate in the program? How do we do that? How do we maintain them? How do we make sure that they're getting their needs met, whatever those needs are going to be? Looking at it from a product perspective, what happens when a source for your product is no longer available for whatever reason? If you're getting donations from stores or whatever it's going to be, what happens when, the store goes out of business or changes their model, or you got a new manager that wants to, serve a different, how do you compensate for that? And these are the same challenges that we have in business. We also look at, getting the word out, and not just to potential consumers, people that would be receiving food, but, to potential board members. How do we recruit for them? Getting word out to potential vendors, people that would provide food, and other potential stakeholders. How do we do that? And how do we make sure that those that are engaging with the organization are having a good experience? And so these are things that we think through when we're looking at a business, when we're looking at an organization, when we're looking at building something that's going to be sustainable. And there's other parts and pieces to this, but this is a lot of times what happens when we run a company. And don't get me wrong, as a leader, it doesn't mean that you need to be an expert in every single one of those fields, because, most people aren't going to have expertise in all those fields. However, we do need to recognize that these are gaps that we need to fill. These are things that we need to address. If we don't have those skills, we need to be able to find a way to get these things done if we truly want to put ourselves in a position where we can have a successful organization.